Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, one of the most anticipated videos of the year, one of my least favorite videos of the year to make. You guessed it, the Quarterback School 2024 Draft Quarterback Rankings. Let's get into it. Welcome to the QB School. So before we dive into the video, quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. If you've been wondering where the hell I've been, why haven't you been on YouTube? We've been over at the Quarterback School Patreon community. Now that's because of a number of reasons, but mostly because that group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, cheap way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content, usually long format videos, most often been full game breakdowns over there. It's one of those things that it allows this thing to go. So if you enjoy this channel, hop over to the Quarterback School Patreon community, join, become a member. I sincerely appreciate your support. Now, into these rankings. All right. I feel like every year I have to do this, so I'm going to do it again for my own sanity as much as yours, and it's probably both ways. This is not a mock draft. This is not how I expect them to go in the draft. In fact, I never thought about it. Don't necessarily think that I don't think through like, oh, this would be a great fit here. This fits this system. That's just not how I operate or watch film. This is based off most all 22 film. Don't watch a lot of college football during the fall. Now, while we'll watch the big games, not going to lie. Don't really care. Don't have a rooting interest in any of these teams, institutions, whatever. Do love watching the all 22. I know a few of these guys through Elite 11. I wouldn't say I know any of them well, but the guys I know, I've been impressed with. Jayden Daniels, Penix Jr., a little bit of seeing Caleb throw in person, but that's really it from this class. The other thing that I want to say here, okay, this is almost entirely film-based. It's obviously my opinion, but it's one of those things where so much of the future success of some of these guys, if not all of these guys, will be based on not only where they go, but luck tethered to it. So what do I mean by that? I mean organizational scheme fit. I mean players around them. I mean health. Now there's not, certainly luck plays an element of health as well as preparation, coaching, all those types of things. None of that is being taken into account in this video. This video is my rankings on how I would draft these guys this year. Okay, so let me say that again for the people in the back. This is not a mock draft. This is how I would rank these guys, how I would draft them to fit into my offense that doesn't exist in a fictional world. Okay, that's it. And it's almost entirely based on the film, all 22, that I have shared. Okay, there is no other film. I didn't watch every single game of these guys. If I watched a game, I shared it. Now, if you're wondering where the hell it is and why it's not on the YouTube channel, we've had some YouTube issues with the all 22 film, not gonna lie. So it's not there. It's over at the Quarterback School Patreon community. I get it. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle for no one more than me. Okay, so I get it. Frustrating. That being said, the rankings. Now, the other part about this, the other part about this is that this video inevitably will come back and bite me in the ass years down the road, if not months down the road. Okay, that's just part of this. I don't necessarily love doing this. I don't love lists. I don't love rankings in general. Probably didn't love lists when I was playing. That's carried over into this. I personally think list literature is just lazy. That's why I try to provide as much nuance, detail, and context over the course of full game breakdowns. Now, I know many of you are not patrons. Many of you are not going to watch every single full game breakdown, and that's okay. But I share it so that you can understand the process, so you can see the methodology. It's not just me being a talking head saying, hey, I watched 9 games and this is what I think. Or I watched every game, I watched every throw, and this is what I think. Everything that I watched, I shared. And that's this process for this channel. But the thing about it is, again, it's not me guessing the outcome, who's going to have the greatest career. It's me saying, this is who I want to take. Okay. So don't freak the hell out and come at me 3 years down the line and think that you're like, got him, because, you know, you watched this video, bookmarked it, saved it, did whatever you do to become the dude that wants to come at me years down the line. Okay. You do you, if that's what you want to do. And that's how this hits you. Obviously it struck a nerve with me. I don't love those kind of comments. I think that they're whatever, but I do want to at least state it up front that that's not the intent of this video. Good? Feel like we can start now? Great. So let's just go through the list, because inevitably that's why you're here. Some, you know, whatever person will probably put it in the comments, so you don't even have to watch the video. Don't be that person. Don't share it, whatever. You're going to do it. You want to do it. You can feel the urge inside you saying, God damn it, why can't he just tell me what the list is so I can type it and share it somewhere? Nobody cares. That's the reality. Nobody cares. All right. So here we go. Rankings wise, why don't I just rattle it off? Because the reason I want to do it selfishly is because I'll probably put it up in a graphic here on the side of the screen. But in addition, some of them are still kind of like, yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. So see if the question for me is, have I learned my lesson, or am I still kind of like tethered to my ways? And by my ways, I mean what my eyes see on the film, as opposed to making sense sometimes of what this guy was asked to do at the college level and what he really can do. And so that's kind of, I'm still in that kind of, still been Herbertized. All right. So the top of the draft is pretty simple for me. Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels. This is not like a bit, like it's still kind of in this space for me. If I was drafting, I think I just have to, you know, be me, be authentically me. Part of me would want to take Drake Maye, but I would take JJ McCarthy 3, JJ McCarthy 3, and then 4. I mean, part of me would want to take Michael Penix, but I know this shit is going to come back and get me, and I'm going to get Herbertized again with Drake Maye. I'm going to go, I'll split the difference, okay? I'll go JJ McCarthy, Drake Maye, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix. From there, it's Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, and then Joe Milton for the guys that I kind of watched the film of in any significant, substantial detail leading up to this point. All right. So there it is. Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Drake Maye, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Joe Milton. Okay, we're going to talk about all those guys now and, you know, kind of go through what the process is. I think the process is pretty clear, certainly at the top of the draft. I think Caleb Williams is a sensational talent. A dude can spin it, can make all sorts of plays, playmaker, unbelievable arm action, throwing capacity, ability to create. He's stronger. He's a good runner, all those types of things. I think the things that you probably are most interested in hearing me talk about are some of the maybe concerns, or, you know, where you can see kind of some initial issues as he comes into the league. I think it will be first, the consistency of the ball security. You know, he's just a little loose with it, I think, naturally. I think that will probably get tightened up as he kind of better understands the Sunday game and how important the ball security element of it is. So I would just look for that part of his game to kind of be polished up here as quickly as possible. From there, you know, I think he's really fun to watch. Like, I love his pocket movement, his arm angles, the clubs he's got in the bag, his ability to reset, violent movement, reset quickly, throw a dot. You know, I feel like he does some arm angle stuff that sometimes he's almost feels like he's showing off, like putting on a Superman cape, those types of things that I think, not the arm angles, but the cape hero ball stuff that can maybe get him in trouble. But I wouldn't want to lose that either, because that's what makes him special too. So it's that fine line for me with him just being able to kind of take care of the ball and do you, if that makes sense. And so I would look for him to have, a lot of success really immediately. I'm going to tread lightly here because I would classify it as a passionate yet potentially sensitive group of fans that are really, really, really excited about maybe the talent, offensive talent on this team, maybe more than I am. I think that this offensive talent is certainly in a very good spot for a guy who's going to be first pick of round 1. Normally, you are not going to go to a situation that I would say has this good of a group. Now, is it a world-class unit? For me, and let me repeat myself, for me, it is not. Okay, now, will it be addressed further down the line in the draft? Maybe. They certainly have some talent on the perimeter. I think DJ Moore does some really nice things on the perimeter. He is outstanding with the ball in his hands. Do I think he runs a absolutely robust route tree and can do everything that you ask a true wide receiver 1 to do? To me, that is a dude who tilts the defense every play, who the defense knows where they are every play, that the whole plan is designed to take away this guy. He's not yet. Doesn't mean he can't be. Perk him up. Doesn't mean he can't be. Right now, he is not that guy, in my opinion. Now, does Caleb help him get there? Maybe. I don't think there's a better dude coming into the draft that would be that guy, but that's me right now. They've got a very good inline tight end. They've added a veteran wide receiver. They've added some veteran running back. They got a new OC. They got a defensive head coach. Even if it goes off, let's pretend that it goes off, that he has a better year than CJ Stroud did last year, which was the greatest rookie NFL quarterback season ever. That OC is probably onto a head coaching job, and we get to roll it back with another new OC. So we've got some potential issues. Now, you add on the fact that I'm going to say historically that franchise has struggled to support or create the scaffolding needed to allow this position to thrive for whatever reason. Insert any adjective you want. For me, when I think of organizational hurdles for a football team, it starts and almost stops at the ownership. Now, I have been a part of a number of NFL organizations, a third of the league. In my opinion, organization ownership matters. Now, you can say, oh, they don't have anything to do with the day-to-day. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not in the building. But I can tell you, historically and anecdotally, poor ownership, meaning either meddling, short-sighted, you can insert any number of different things, how they can impact the outcome, the performance on a field, can make it difficult on a quarterback. It matters, in my opinion. To me, that's still an organizational hurdle for this franchise until proven otherwise. So come at me sideways, whatever. That's my interpretation of it. Okay, pronouns are tough with this crew. My take on it. Good? Excited? I would be excited if you're a Bears fan. I'm excited as a Caleb Williams fan. I'm also excited, and this is no shot across the bow. I don't think you have to be a genius to know that the Bears' passionate fan base is a big part of this channel, the Patreon community, the growth of this channel. It matters to me. I would say the Bears and the 49er fans are by far the biggest supporters of this channel. It means a lot to me. I appreciate the support. But at the same time, I'm going to try to be as honest and as authentic as I can be. And that's my snapshot of where they're at right now. If I was a Bears fan, I would be fucking fired up for Caleb Williams. And potentially to get more offensive talent in the draft. It's an exciting time to be a Bears fan. It is. We can also take a snapshot of everything else and try to be as truthful as we can and at least have and own your take on it. And that's my take on it. All right. So now we're on to the next. All right. Next, let's do Jayden Daniels 2. So Jayden Daniels to me is a guy who has got some jugs machine types vibes, meaning super smooth, consistent stroke, and just put it where he wants really consistently. I think he's got some polished. I think you can tell he's polished as far as his footwork, his understanding, what he was asked to do, making full field reads, all those types of things that you love to see on the film. Now, did he absolutely take advantage of the guys he was playing with? For sure. Some great inside fades, all those types of things I think are fair. I think he's also a true dual, meaning he can really run it, can really tote it, is fast, can stride out. Now, is he between the tackles type massive guy? No. He's tall. He can stride out. I think he's going to be a weapon on the perimeter running the ball. Certainly got the capacity to tote it in situational football, short yardage, goal line, critical down and distance, those types of things. But I think he's a really exciting prospect. I think if you're looking at potential, deficiencies or things that you would say, where does he kind of, not stack up to the rest of this group? I would say maybe, that top end fastball, velo type thing where you're really trying to rip it wasn't on film as much as it was for some of these other guys. And I think that's probably the one thing where you can say, hey, if we need to drive it kind of in that deep to intermediate range, will we be able to do it consistently? Time will tell, but I think he's a really exciting prospect, had an unbelievable year, is a good dude who gets after it the right way, has a great deep understanding, and is a thoughtful guy when it comes to football. So I'm really excited for him to see where he lands. Next, 3 here, J.J. McCarthy. So, again, obviously from earlier in the video, you know that this is really a crapshoot for me. It's a coin flip on a coin flip for these guys between J.J. McCarthy, Drake Maye, Michael Penix Jr. So just kind of like rattling them off in order. I think J.J. McCarthy had a very impressive collegiate career. Again, wasn't asked to do a lot every single Saturday. So you really got to dig into the film. But I think when you dig into the film, the more you see, the more you like. And I think, over the course of his career, he was proven he's a good athlete. He can run it. He's a winner. He's sharp. He protects the football. He can drive it. He can play with anticipation like those other guys in front of him. As far as Caleb and Jayden, he can work the middle of the field. He can push the ball down the field. I think he can rip the ball outside the numbers. There's a lot to like. And he wasn't asked to necessarily carry a team ever. Is that because he can't, or is that because that's not kind of how they play football? I just think he looks super polished. I love his drops. He's got some dovetail to it. He's lined up consistently. There's a lot you could immediately insert into the league and think that you're going to have a guy who's going to give you a chance to win really consistently. Is his top end ceiling the same as maybe Drake Maye? Do you see those splash plays? No. You don't see the splash plays. I don't know about the top end ceiling. We'll see. Time will tell. I think that there's a lot to like, though. I think he's, when you dig into it, there's not much to be like, oh, God, he doesn't do this very well. Or, man, that's a real, glaring weakness or blind spot. As opposed to the next two guys, where I think that there are some things where you can say with a little bit of certainty watching the film, like, hey, this is an issue. Are they fixable? Sure. But right now, right? Remember, right now, this list, how we would take him, this, J.J. McCarthy, from me, 3. Next, Drake Maye. Okay, Drake Maye has got some spectacular throws on his film. He really does. Not playing with a whole lot of talent around him this year. New coordinator. I probably was looking for more growth than was there on the film. But you can't take away from the fact that every time you turn on the film, there is a spectacular type play, whether it's throwing left-handed, whether it's outside the pocket, ripping the ball way down the field, throwing it across your body, running it, creating it, arm strength. There really is a lot to like. I think if you were on the team that gets Drake Maye, I think that there's a lot to like upside. There really is. Is he as polished right now as the guys I have in front of him? I don't think so. Now, again, this is where it's going to get me in trouble, and I can hear it as I say it. Okay? So in real time, I'm acknowledging the fact that the potential to project his ability over the Sunday game might be greater than, I would say, Jayden Daniels or J.J. McCarthy. But right now, when I look at the deficiencies, I look at the inconsistencies. I look at him spiking balls. I look at him missing throws that should be, quote-unquote, handoffs to guys who are going to play on Sunday. the inconsistency in the ball control, the inconsistency on the footwork. Now, is the footwork scheme dependent? Probably. Can it be fixed? Absolutely. And let's not overreact. But the ball control thing to me is an issue. The consistency part of it to me is an issue. The stroke is not as consistent as some of the other guys in this draft to me when you talk about the guys I have in the top 3. That's just my opinion. It's from the film. Did I watch every throw he ever made in his entire life? No. Can those things be fixed? Absolutely. Yeah. I still think he's a really, really impressive prospect. I think he's going to have an opportunity to thrive in the league. And if he can become the consistent guy that can also make the splash plays, I mean, he could very easily be the best guy coming out of this class. There's no way around that. He absolutely could. Is he as consistent as those other guys right now? To me, he's not. That's it. That's the difference. Next, Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. to me is one of those guys that has had a pretty impressive collegiate career. Started Indiana, a bunch of season-ending injuries. The injury thing is an issue. It just, I don't know how you go around, the investment that is a early round 1, any round 1 pick. When you have injury concerns, to me, you're rolling the dice already. Now, you certainly wish the guy the best of luck. He obviously takes care of himself really well. Thought he came out, ran, jumped, did all those things to really show his kind of health and explosiveness. I think you also have to acknowledge the fact that he's played the last couple years healthy. Certainly helps. But, the wear on the tires is the wear on the tires. And that's the reality of it. It's probably impacting where he's at in this list for me because of that and because of the last game. I thought the last game was a real bummer. I just thought it felt like the pressure that Michigan brought really impacted him. I felt like there were opportunities for him to make some throws and decisions that didn't happen. It's a one game. It's not a freak out. Now, it doesn't matter that it's on the biggest stage. Maybe. I don't think it's necessarily a deal breaker. If you were in love with Michael Penix Jr.'s game, I think you could still find ways to make sense of that last game. I think there's a lot to like. I think he's a beautiful thrower of the football. It looks a little pushy. I think he spins it better than it looks, if that makes sense. I think people have to get past the fact that it's left-handed as well. That, hits you a little sideways as well, maybe. But I think it comes off his hand. It jumps off of his hand. He rips the ball at all levels. A really nice thrower of the football. I think when you turn on the film, there are maybe some missed opportunities, specifically down the field. They were so good. I mean, they were dynamic on the perimeter for sure. But there were some missed opportunities that I felt like, man, if he could have hit that, it could have been even better. If he could have hit that, it would, missed some opportunities that I thought maybe for a guy who's, potential top 10 guy, would aspire to be that guy, that you got to hit some of those. And he definitely did hit some of them. I just felt like he missed maybe more than he should have. So the consistency of that, I also love that offense. I really do. I love what they were doing. I think parts of that will be interesting to see what it looks like in Seattle next year, but I don't necessarily know if all of those throws are transferable as far as being able to hold on to that ball forever and just let it rip deep down the field. I think there's going to be a little bit more rhythm, timing element that just isn't there all the time with that kind of, I don't necessarily want to say air raidy, but like air raidy read, green grass, those types of things that take a little bit more time than a lot of the NFL game. So I still think Michael Penix can absolutely spin it. If your team gets Michael Penix, you should be fired up. And, hopefully he's able to continue to stay healthy and do his thing. And if he didn't do his thing, he's got an opportunity to have an outstanding NFL career. Next on the list, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is, just kind of, when I compared it to the other 5 guys, I think Bo Nix maybe doesn't do certain things as well as the other group, obviously, Captain, for why he would be 6th in this list. The things that I really like about Bo Nix, his ability to protect the football, outstanding. I think he's got some playmaker vibes for sure, can create and get out and do things outside the pocket. I certainly, think that he's got the ability to drive the ball down the field, create big plays down the field. To me, that offense, and again, that Herbert vibes with, just seeing those uniforms to me I acknowledge it's an issue. But his ability to, so much of it is, is he not throwing the ball sometimes down the field when I think things are open because they're asking him to protect the ball? Or is that just how he plays? Is that I obviously can't make sense of it. That's why he's here on the list. I think that there were opportunities down the field that for whatever reason, he's so comfortable in that underneath, behind the line of scrimmage, in that short yardage stuff. And then he does take advantage of big plays down the field. But there's a huge chunk in the middle of the field where I felt like there were throws where they were consistently potentially there. There was areas of the defense that were there to be attacked that he just didn't do. Now, again, is that scheme centric? Maybe. For sure, maybe. And I don't have all the answers by any means. But when I watched the film, that was the difference between him and the guys in front of him. I felt like the guys in front of him rarely didn't take those opportunities. Now, they might not have hit all of them, but the vision part of it, the ability to be like, let it rip sometimes, that I think you have to have, for whatever reason, Bo is great at protecting the ball when he was at Oregon. And, that's certainly an element of playing in the league, but I'm not sure it's going to allow him to flourish potentially like some of those other guys because of how they let it rip and have the arm talent to kind of drive the ball at almost every single level. So that was kind of the difference for me, Bo Nix, compared to the other five. This last tier, guys, I'm just going to kind of all lump together. Spencer Rattler, Jordan Travis, Joe Milton. I think Spencer Rattler has got a lot of arm talent. Have always thought that. Again, we'll see where he ends up going. I certainly think a guy like that is going to get if not multiple opportunities in the league to kind of prove that he can or can't play. Again, we'll see where it goes. You go somewhere that has a lot of stability, that you don't have to play right away, fall into a good situation. All of a sudden, you've got a really long, thriving career. We'll see what it looks like. I think he's athletic. I think he can create. I think he can do some things. It's one of those things where we'll see where he goes, but he certainly has the talent to be able to get that opportunity. Jordan Travis, really great career at Florida State. Not the biggest guy in the world. I think, if he wasn't injured, it would be fascinating to see where he would fall with this. I think he would probably be a little bit closer to kind of that Bo Nix sphere in my world. I don't necessarily know if he's got kind of the arm talent that I associate with Bo Nix. But again, Bo Nix didn't make every throw. I don't necessarily think you turn on Jordan Travis's film and see him making every single throw. But what he does do, he creates, he thrives, he elevates, he does all the things that you look for in a quarterback. And so he's certainly, hopefully, going to get an opportunity when healthy. We'll see what it looks like. And then finally, Joe Milton. Joe Milton, obviously, can spin it. I mean, can rip it all over the place. Almost too much so, if that makes sense, because sometimes I feel like because you can throw it 80 yards and you're in an offense that is whatever that Tennessee offense is, it's really cool for college football. I think that there are really some cool things that they do spacing wise. And it's hard for me to watch that film and project a whole lot of throws onto a Sunday type game environment defense scheme. So can he rip it? Absolutely. Got unbelievable size, can flip, do all those crazy athletic, explosive things that you look for. Will it work on Sundays? Will his game translate? I don't know. I don't think that there's a lot on film to guarantee that it will. I hope he proves me wrong. Hope he has a long career and thrives and rips the ball 80 yards all over the place and gives two middle fingers to everybody on the process. We'll see what it looks like. But for me, that was this class. Again, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you support the channel through the Patreon community, I really do appreciate it. Specifically for this draft, because it was so centric to the Patreon community, and because that's where I had to kind of share the videos. I really do appreciate all the support over there. I didn't mention it over the course of this video, but if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to be back on the YouTube channel quite a bit here, thinking, whether it be X's and O's videos or recapping maybe some potential playoff losses here from the NFL side, get back over here quite a bit. Either way, thank you so much for hanging to the end. I will see you next time. Have a good one.